Hello, I am Joseph Young, and I will be discussing should the United States intelligence agencies have the right to collect data from its U.S. citizens. I'm in Group 5. First off, I want to start off with what is national security. National security has been defined as the ability of a state to cater for the protection and defense of its citizens. So, in simpler terms, it's the security that that a country provides its citizens. And that encompasses many things, such as national defense, foreign intelligence, counterintelligence, international and internal security, and foreign relations. Now, the question comes about, do I think they have the right to collect data? And I would say yes. And I say that because there's a saying that goes, there's two things in this world that you never want to let people see how you make them: laws and sausage. And well, I'd add a third to that, and it would be how national security is obtained. As invasive as collecting data on U.S. citizens may seem, it's a necessary evil, in my opinion. And it's truly not even an evil, because the only time you end up on the wrong side of it is if you're living wrong. And by wrong, I mean terroristic activity. This policy is essential for our national security and public safety. Uh, the world as we know it is changing, and it constantly is, and it won't stop. I mean, that's life. I mean, if something's not moving, it's definitely dead. With that being said, the front lines for a global war are digital now, and because of that, the modern battlefield is everywhere and anywhere. And so, with technology and potential threats evolving, so must our data collection and monitoring. Uh, data, however you want to say it. Uh, it's what we have to do to stay ahead. And I say collecting data and monitoring information is what we have to do to stay ahead. And I feel like this issue isn't something that you say no to. This is an issue that you can only say yes to. And honestly, the closest you can get to a no on the government having the right to collect data on U.S. citizens is basically just a yes with restrictions. So nobody's truly saying no to this. I feel like it's more so of a yes, but it's like one of those situations, if that makes sense. But because every American realizes that it's the price that you have to pay, I feel like I'd hate to quote Thanos on this, but it's a small price you have to pay for salvation, because I mean, it is a necessary evil or a necessary process that we have to go through to ensure our nation's security, national security. Uh, Point one, my main point, it's being conducted the right way. Executive Order 14086, which was put in place July 3rd, 2023. Uh, and all this executive order alone, it shows the responsibility and the justice of our government. The main objective, as stated within this executive order, is to continue to apply relevant policies and procedures issued in accordance to the presidential policy directive of January 17th, 2014, which is like around the time, I don't know if you guys know, but Snowden came about, Edward Snowden, and he basically leaked all the information like of what they were doing to us. And so it was issued in accordance with Presidential Policy Directive of January 17, 2014, and to update those policies and procedures as necessary to implement the privacy and civil liberty safeguards, and to release these updated policies and procedures publicly to the maximum extent possible. And that's in their words. So basically, they are repolishing some of the old flaws of the data collection process, and they're making them better, literally. And some of the main few points in this executive order, which is what I'm trying to get at, but I couldn't say: minimization, dissemination, and retention. So, in other words, the Bureau of Intelligence and Research, they no longer have access to your personal or raw information, even if it was collected in bulk, because they collect data in bulk to look over. And so now there are restrictions on what's being analyzed and collected, unless it falls into a category of potential threat. So they're not just digging through everything. Like, there are certain guidelines and there's a certain way to go about collecting our personal information and our personal data now. And that whole executive order encompasses all of that. My second point, which is really just a bunch of points, is basically like the pros of having the government collect data on us. One, the government collecting data enhances our national security. So, with that being said, authorities can identify potential threats and take appropriate action to prevent terrorism and criminal activities. The ability to detect patterns and trends allows for early intervention, protecting both citizens and infrastructure. Can't go wrong with that. Point two, with them being able to collect data on us, it helps them identify trends and planning policies. So, uh, data that's collected provides insights to societal trends and behaviors, enabling government to plan, adapt, and implement policies that address emerging issues. So it helps them stay on top of things that day-to-day issues that we might not communicate to them directly, but through this data and them looking through it and whatnot, I mean, they can basically cater to us, if that makes sense. And to add on top of that, targeted service delivery. So basically, it's just data collection. It gives government the ability to provide targeted and personalized services to citizens, us, by understanding citizens' needs and preferences. That's a hard word to get out. The authorities can tailor policies such as healthcare, education, and social services accordingly. So basically, tailor to us once again. My closing statement, allowing U.S. intelligence to collect data from citizens is vital towards our success and security as a nation. And I feel as if to render it or rid of it in any way would be equivalent to leaving the front door open in a bad neighborhood. I mean, something's just bound to go wrong. And this policy has proof that it works. In fact, the fact that we're here now doing an assignment over it is almost a testimony to it. Every day we wake up is a testimony to our national security and why the way we do it works. So, yeah, that's all.